Chicago's new far-left mayor-elect Brandon Johnson just won't stop defending violent teenagers and their rioting. They stormed the city's downtown streets last weekend, took over businesses, apartment building entryways, breaking windows, smashing cars, beating pedestrians. Mayor-elect Johnson called for the teenagers to be protected rather than punished.
Look, demonizing children is wrong. They're young. Sometimes they make silly decisions. They do. And so we have to make sure that we are investing to make sure that young people know that they are supported.
3 people got shot. What is he talking about? Silly decisions. Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell with an op-ed challenging the mayor, writing this: the rioters aren't victims, they're lawbreakers. With him pacifying the riots, Chicago is likely to have a summer of hell with an empty suit mayor who will allow criminals to control the streets. That quote from Gianno's op-ed. He's in focus now. Gianno, finish your thought, because you know those streets best.
You know, this incoming mayor is going into the belly of the violent crime beast, offering cookies and milk, showing people that he is not up for this job that he's going to take on. The people who voted in this previous election, who voted for Paul Vallis, knew that Brandon Johnson was going to be a nightmare. And he's showing us very early what his intentions are. It is disturbing, it's disgusting. The fact that he's saying, hey, we can't demonize these kids, these teenagers. Some of those folks have shot people. Some of them have killed people. What are you talking about? You're putting the lives of the residents in Chicago at stake over an idea that your progressive base has pushed you into. And now Chicagoans all over the city, no matter what neighborhood you live in, no matter what kind of job you have, what kind of income you have, are going to pay the price. And this is only the springtime. In the summer, it'll get far worse, Harris.
Last weekend, the weekend before, I mean, the shooting and the death rate is up already. I mean, aside from the riots, Chicago is dangerous. I just had on part of the power panel always is half Democrat, and he tried to say, oh, Harris, you haven't been to Chicago. I don't know who he thinks he's talking to. But anyway, have been there and continue to go there, and we cover these stories constantly. This is not a safe place. You're going to hold a convention there next summer. The Democrats are. Why?
That's a great question. When overall crime in Chicago is up 61% from the first 4 weeks of January, we understand that they're going to have this DNC convention, which I think is going to be great because they give an opportunity to see what soft on crime policies can do to a city. And you absolutely know scenes like the one on our screen right now, those rioting in Chicago, we'll see a little bit more of that, I think, when the DNC, even though they're going to have a lot of security, a lot of federal security, police and all of that, I think we're still going to see what happens in Chicago on a regular basis. And it is very unfortunate that the Democrats believe that their policy prescription has been good when you have literally seen people killed over these policies. Mayor Lori Lightfoot's no chase policy. You can't chase suspects on foot. Police officers can't chase suspects on foot. If they were going to chase them in a car, they got to call and get their supervisor's permission.
Wow.
Which means the suspect could get away and murder more people. These are disastrous policies, which I believe in part led to the murder of my baby brother Christian last summer. This is life. This is not a game. These aren't ideas, theoretical ideas that people are like, oh, well, maybe we should do this. I read this in a textbook. Maybe this will work. No, we need law and order. Otherwise, we're going to see more and more people end up dead. And that's what I believe is going to happen with Brandon Johnson as mayor.
Well, look, we're up against it, too, here in New York. And I say we. I don't live here. I live across the river. But for people who do, Manhattan District's attorney, the liberal Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, campaigned on racial equity. Now we are learning that meant prioritizing equity over prosecuting some thieves. In a 2021 meeting, he told one group, theft is a crime of poverty. Quote, the punishments are disproportionately harsh and fall disproportionately on the backs of people of color. This makes them morally indefensible. I will either dismiss these charges outright or offer the accused person the opportunity to complete a program without ever setting foot in a courtroom. By the way, team and I looked today. There's no number that stops this. The number is only age. So take as much as you want. He's going to excuse you until you're an adult.
More terrible policies coming out of New York City. And I'll tell you, this idea that this is some type of racial equity is a lie. When we talked about criminal justice reform for years, the criminal justice reform we were talking about was equality in the law. For example, if somebody gets arrested for doing cocaine and somebody gets arrested for doing crack, we're talking about pretty much the same drug. More people were getting more time for crack cocaine, which we know was a drug that mostly black folks use, versus coke was a drug mostly white folks use, if those could afford it. So that was the distinction there. It wasn't, oh yeah, let's let people shoot, kill, rob, and steal, and if they're black, then it's okay. Like, this is insanity,
it's crazy,
Harris, and I'm really tired of it. The way they're taking, the direction they're taking this country is really endangering the lives of black people. These are the areas that they live in.
There you
and
go.
You're saying, hey, we're going to let more people that are criminals who commit criminal acts back on the street to terrorize their communities even more?
And the poor,
how dare you, Alvin Bragg?
Black, brown, otherwise. These are low-income areas. By the way, the age cutoff for the new, you can steal whatever you want, it's not a crime. It's not just an adult. It's 25. You and I had, like, lives at 25. I got to let you go. Outnumbered is next.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.